Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some old friends today. Autism is a complex developmental disability typically appearing during childhood and affecting a person's ability to communicate and interact with those around them. It's hard to accept, but we all have someone in our lives living with autism, even if it's a classmate of your child or a work associate. Locally, in Arizona, 1 in 40 or 2.5% of 8-year-old children in the area of Arizona were identified with Autism Spectrum Disorder by the Arizona Developmental Disabilities Surveillance Program.
It's 1 in 36.
I'm being told now that it's 1 in 36. So we're here to help and go all in for autism because the Autism Society of Southern Arizona is here to improve the lives of those affected by autism, because today I'm fortunate enough to speak with Kate Elliot, Executive Director of the Autism Society of Southern Arizona. Kate, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Heck yeah. And also, we've got a new friend, Eric Stark, board member of the Autism Society of Southern Arizona and representative of Banner Health Plans. Eric, how are you doing today? It's good to see you.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having this opportunity for us to get the word out about the Autism Society.
Heck yeah, I'm always happy to talk to you folks. Glad to have you back. Glad we made improvements because I copied and pasted this from your website last year, which means we've done something, I guess, perhaps.
Well, it means that we are getting the word out. The education is more, so more people are having access to being diagnosed, and that is positive. That the word is spreading and awareness is growing, and so people are able to get diagnosed and get the services they need.
That is a huge part of it because no one's half the battle, and we got to let everybody know that you're around, what you're doing. You have some great events coming up, and why don't we dive right into one of the biggest pinnacle events that you guys do, because we are going all in for autism, all in for Autism Day, Saturday, April 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tell us all about it.
It is going to be an amazing day. It's our premier wealth management All In for Autism Day, and it is a super fun day. We used to, pre-pandemic, did the walk, but the resource fair was the most fun part of it. So now we decided to make the resource fair full of lots and lots of fun. And instead of walking, we're doing a dance-a-thon.
Oh!
So you can create your team, and you can come out. Larry Mack will be there to lead us, and we're going to dance with Wilbur and Wilma and the cheerleaders, the U of A cheerleaders, and it's going to be a great time. We wanted to have an event where the community could come together. Instead of just walking independently, we can all come together and dance together and really celebrate our community and how all the things that we're doing.
It's a great fun event, and it looks like the weather's going to be with us, I hope, because it's getting nice. Springtime. It's a good time for this. It is event season.
It is event season, and we are thankfully inside of the TCC this year, so I don't have to worry about the weather.
That is
no matter what,
awesome.
It's going to be awesome inside of the TCC.
I'm doing a Touch a Truck event with Pima J-Ted, and last year it was in this dirty lot, and it was so popular that this year it's in the TCC, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because sometimes that rain will just surprise you, and it can really ruin a fun event.
Yeah, no, rain, heat, we never know what's around the corner. So we're super excited to be inside in the air conditioning. We can just all enjoy and be comfortable.
Heck yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
So tell me, how was last year's event? Because that's the last time we spoke. Did you have a good time? Tell me about some of the successes from last year's event.
Last year's event was a lot of fun. We had almost 1,000 people come out, and we had all sorts of fun, exciting things going on. A lot of people are coming back. We have the reptile petting zoo coming back, so we get a pet. They have even the big, giant, gross lizards and snakes and stuff. But if it's me, it's gross. But some people get really, really excited about that. And then we also have the civic orchestras coming back out with all their instruments, so we get to use them. It's called their instrument petting zoo, so we get to play with them and all that kind of stuff. This year, our big thing is we're having Jedi training. We have a group of Jedis coming out, and they are going to teach you how to be a Jedi and how to fight like a Jedi. So I'm super, super excited. We have all the different characters coming out to be able to hang out and take your picture with and play along, and then do your Jedi training while you're there, too.
That's fantastic.
And in addition, I will be teaching some balloon animal workshops. So I'll be teaching children of all ages
That's what I always
how
say.
to make balloon animals for themselves. Not just making it for people, but actually empowering them to what looks really hard, actually with some practice and determination is very doable to learn.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about your experience. Did you go last year, Eric?
Oh, absolutely. Banner Health Plans was there. We had our own booth. And like us and so many other wonderful organizations in town believe in the message of what the Autism Society of Southern Arizona is doing. So Banner Health Plans is probably one of the only nonprofit, locally based, right here in Tucson, health plan provider of both access and Medicare Advantage health plans. And while we believe in care and coverage, that's kind of our mission. Care means more than just addressing the basic needs of folks. Care means helping our members to strive to fulfill their purpose, to be as much as possible. And that's why we love the Autism Society, because they're all about creating opportunities for independence, for growth, for learning.
It's all about being unique, and helping kids achieve that is a real strength that you guys do. Just knowing that, dare to be different is something I based my entire life on. So that's the trick, is that really helping kids understand that like being different is awesome. And sometimes the whole thing about what's going on is that it's a superpower, like we all know that that's a real phrase, but it is.
That's definitely, some people look at it that way.
Yeah. So I wanted to point out, it's not just children, actually. So I myself have a diagnosis on the spectrum, and I got it later as an adult. And there is a lot of folks like me out there who have suffered in silence, never knowing exactly what was holding them back. I was on disability insurance. I didn't work for a long time. And yet, for me, finding out that all those things I considered weaknesses could actually be strengths. I got trained to provide peer support in the public behavioral health system. I started there and I've never looked back. Now I'm part of a community outreach team for both Medicaid and Medicare at Banner Health Plans. And honestly, I love my job because they value what I bring to the table. They don't judge me for any deficits I have. Instead, it's a warm and supporting environment where I can be my best. And that's what we want to create in all of Tucson, an autism-friendly environment where folks can take risk. They can try new things without the fear of just being, shut down or judged.
Adult diagnosis is probably the largest increase in population that we have. More and more adults are being diagnosed on the spectrum. And having that realization and that whole process is a whole thing to go through and realize. And so we've developed, this year we started a group for people who were diagnosed later in life to really talk about that. Mm-hmm. But creating those spaces, we have like an adult social club is our perfect example of the magic when you get autistic people together, when they can be together and be themselves and know that they're there, that no matter how they communicate, whatever assistive devices they use or if they can speak verbally or not, we're there to listen to them, however they communicate. And we're there to accept and
embrace
exactly their stims and who they are and how they like to engage. And it is the most amazing thing when you sit in that room and you realize people are just able to be themselves. It's my favorite night of the month, but it's definitely just a beautiful
adult
thing.
Social club, people can learn more about it on our website. Mm-hmm. But we have the first Friday of the month is a virtual online group. Some people prefer that. Or at least maybe some people start off that way. Mm-hmm. It is magical just seeing, because people get to decide their level of engagement. We don't force them to participate. If they just want to listen, that's fine. We'll sometimes, encourage folks to draw them out a little bit, but it's always their choice. And then the third Friday of the month is our in-person social club, where people can come, they can play games, they can do karaoke, they can do a lot of different things, watch movies, art projects. And it's just amazing to watch because there are so much talent, so much hidden talent that comes out. Amazing artists. There's one woman writing a screenplay that I would watch. Mm-hmm. I would love to watch if it ever gets made.
And where can you guys go meet? Where do you actually meet when you do the third week one? Where do you meet in person?
We meet at United Cerebral Palsy is generous enough to lend us their space. And so if anybody's interested, they can sign up for those emails on our website. It has all the directions and a little video about how to get there so you have an understanding of where you're going, what you're walking into.
And the link for the virtual one also.
Yes.
And again, I think the virtual is great because it gives someone a chance to kind of test the waters. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes it's different groups because not everyone wants to meet in person, but it can be a stepping stone for many also.
Yeah,
they get comfortable. We become a known entity, and then they feel more confident and may be willing to take a chance and go in person.
As a guy that, like, I used to run an art gallery, kind of a comic store, like, it's just that for everybody. You know, going to anything, any sort of party, can sometimes be like, I want to go with a friend. I don't want to just show up alone. And that's kind of what it is. But it's nice to go to these fun group activities. And like I always tell people, find people doing the things, you know, that you want to do. Like, that's the trick, because you're already all interested in doing something. And it sounds like you have a lot of fun things, because who doesn't love karaoke? It's so fun. It's my favorite thing on earth.
So we actually have people making friends and connecting. Now, the social clubs are not the only thing we do to kind of help people build connections. We also have the speed dating event every so often.
I mean, you're reading my mind. That's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah, we have our speed dating event every February usually, and it's super fun and exciting. We actually have some relationships and dating that's been happening, and I'm very excited to see those grow. And it's just a fun time. We slow things down a bit. We make sure everybody has like some idea of questions ahead of time. Everybody send out questions and put fidgets on the tables and stuff like that, so people can just ease and get that idea. And sometimes it's kind of nice too, because if you know somebody, you can get that practice or the idea of the dating kind of talk out of the way. And it's a really fun time. It's always, every time, we need girls to sign up for speed dating. If I could get
you hear
the women
that,
to sign
ladies?
up,
Let's go.
Yes, we can do speed dating so much more, but the women are afraid, and I
the men are nervous too.
Yes.
I've spent my share of time talking with some nervous men. Now, completely natural. I happen to be married now, but I never thought that would happen. But I can totally understand, this is a little intimidating, and yet this is something that they really want. And honestly, they do a really good job of, showing themselves to others.
Again, that's the thing. Let's make sure that people do really know this. Like, it's not even a joke about like, oh, you need more ladies. Like, no, it is safe. You're making sure everyone feels safe. You're making sure that no one is in there that's a piece of garbage that's out there to take advantage of anyone maliciously. I'm sure that you are making sure that a speed dating style event is safe.
Yes. And we help with the follow-up too. So
Right.
if somebody liked you and you're like, no way, then we're never, ever going to give them your phone number.
There you go.
That's good. So, or we're going to help navigate those first conversations if you need support, so that, because that next transitionary period, we make sure to keep the people, your creepers, away.
Yeah.
To
And you
find
got
your
it, but
people.
that's the point. You're working to help everybody here. You don't want anyone to feel awkward, to feel uncomfortable, and dating's awkward and uncomfortable enough. So it doesn't need help.
So we also just do not focus on the individuals with a diagnosis or a potential diagnosis. We also want to serve their loved ones by providing support groups and other things. Sometimes there's this real big desire to wrap people up in bubble wrap and protect them from all the consequences of the world. But you're not always doing your loved ones a favor by doing that. Sometimes people need to learn to take chances, to take risks, to grow, to learn. We want them to do it safely, and we want to do it at their own level of comfort. But, getting out and being part of the community, even for just a little bit, or, we try and make that safe. But we also work with parents, because so many family members, they get this diagnosis and they freeze up, and I don't blame them. It's very scary. They don't know what it means. They don't know what it will mean for the future. I'm sure you've seen that a lot.
I think that the thing, actually, it's not even just that some people need to do that. All people need to do that. All people need to take more risks, walk toward what scares them. That's what I tell people. Get over your fear of public speaking. Get over your fear of certain things like that. You don't need to live in fear, especially from just talking to one another. I was the shyest kid in school. I was the quietest kid. I worked so hard to become outgoing, and I keep flexing that muscle. It's the biggest one I got now, because that's what I did being the shyest kid in school. And everything is beatable. And, situations like this, where it comes to like embarrassment and stuff like that, helping people get over the hump of that by just normalizing what it is and through repetition. Because even I owned a business downtown, and then it shuts down, and months go by, and then I go back downtown again, and I'm like, I feel I'm nervous. And I'm like, why are you nervous? You used to do this every single day, 9 to 5. Because when you fall out of a pattern, it becomes unfamiliar again, and then you're like, I feel it unease. You got to just do things a little over and over and over again and make it normal. Going to community events is how you make friends. Making those friends is how you then go to different events together. And as a team, you grow. And that's what you guys are really doing by offering that support And the follow-up support, I think, is probably maybe more essential than anything. So that's really great.
I have a similar story.
Tell me.
I've always been intimidated by public speaking. In school, it scared me, and I'd rush through it if I did it at all. And then after I got trained to provide peer support and got hired by a local behavioral health provider, they had asked me to MC an event. The CEO was going to be there, the chief clinical officer was going to be there. And I got up on the stage and I froze like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I took an oath to myself that this is not the person I want to be. That I'm never going to pass up a public speaking opportunity. Even if my brain screamed, don't do it, you'll freeze, they'll laugh at you, and my stomach screams, blah, 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 and maybe even other parts of me, but we won't go there. So I made myself do it, and slowly I got a little more comfortable. I took more opportunities. It still scared me. I was still extremely nervous. But then one day it kind of realized, not only do I seem to like this, but I seem to be good at it also.
Yeah.
And so my life changed. I never in a million years could imagine being on the radio talking to all you folks when I was growing up. It just seemed impossible. And that's the real message. If you've met someone with autism, you've met someone with autism. Everyone is different. And honestly, I agree with you. The things we teach are kind of applicable to everyone.
Yep.
You don't get a diagnosis if you're coping well. It's only if it's affecting your ability to function, do activities of daily living. And so that's why we're here, to help people be the best they can be and help their families learn how best to support their loved ones and how to be there, and for businesses, just like Banner Health Plans, we've done trainings for our employees to make an autism-friendly environment as much as possible.
Oh, I love that you brought Eric today. Let me tell you.
I know.
He's
great.
crushing it. All right. And I love that you shared that story because, again, I'd love to have a similar story because you do know what it felt like. I know what it felt like when I first emceed a thing, like, oh, those butterflies, and you feel like you're freezing, and you just got to, little by little, and all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it. And you're there and you're doing it. And then you like it. You like how scared you got. You liked the adrenaline. There's something to it. It's when you find these things, you got to chase them. You got to pursue them. Don't let anything be in your way, and if you can get help to get those things out of your way, get that help. Get that help. And you guys are providing so much of that help. I want to go back to some of this event because I like name dropping people and a story that you told earlier, like where finding out who you are is a big part of life, and finding out identity is a big part of it. And I always have Swara Music Theater on, and they're going to be out there doing some classes, and they've helped some kids get through some tough mental things where they said they sit in the class first, they don't have to participate, then all of a sudden maybe they're going to do stuff, and then 3 weeks later, one of these girls, she's the most sing and dance girl, she's like, thank you for helping me find who I am. And that's incredible. And that's a lot of what we're trying to do because grown-up's tough. Grown-ups tough, and really trying to find identity these days. We talk about identity politics a lot, and it gets wrapped up in sexual identity a lot. But I give a talk to kids when I teach kids at schools that it's not just about that. It's about realizing the day that I was the art kid, realizing how much they celebrate the football kid, the basketball kid, the cheerleader kid, all these roles that kind of exist in the community of school and the community of growing up. If you assign yourself a role, realizing I'm the art kid, all right, let's be that. It really helped me and really helped me discover who I am, who I want to be, helped me get along better in groups, and really making decisions about where I want to go. I'm going to go to art college. I'm going to go to do this. Making these choices to be that person is really a big part of who you are. So getting kids out there and being afraid, like, I'm going to dance, and they might discover they love dancing and they can really pursue it. Getting these people to be out there and help us with our social media, perhaps, then they find out they love doing that social media. They want to be a social media star. Go for it, right? Helping them understand instruments that are going to be at the petting zoo. I've seen that at a lot of events. The instrument petting zoo is hysterical because it's got a lot of nonsense coming from that tent, a lot of funny noise, right? So really good. You got a lot of opportunities for them to meet and greet fun characters at the event, which is great. Princesses and Superheroes going to be there. I'm friends with the Arizona Ghostbusters. They were just on a previous episode, so you got to get them at maybe your next event. The Arizona Ghostbusters are a great charity group that help out a lot of fun organizations like yours just by showing up and showing out for these kids, making them feel like they're meeting celebrities and having a good time for photos.
I love it so much. It's always so fun. We're having even going to have story times with Clifford and with Moana. So if you're come and hang out, Mr. Nature's coming.
Yeah.
Robots also?
Oh yeah, there's robots and science with the Flandros coming out, and biomechanical engineering's coming out.
And a legion of stormtroopers.
Yes.
And we will be doing not just Jedi training, but for those that have a darker inclination, Sith training.
I think I know what side of the Force Eric is on. Jeez.
But yeah, and art too. We're having a lot of art activities and things like that for the people who are less sci-fi and more artsy. We got you too. There's something for everybody for sure.
Heck yeah.
I mean, that's why I love teaching people how to make the balloon animals, because it's something that looks really hard. And yet, if you have the patience and the determination, just about anyone, maybe 7 to 8 and older, can learn. And so something that you never imagined being able to do, because we talked before, it's just the most greatest feeling in the world is seeing someone become comfortable with who they are. Mm-hmm. But I think it's even greater when you see that someone realizes they can be much more than just that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you. I was going to say, tell me a success story. But I mean, besides Eric, all right, because he's fantastic. No, but tell me a success story of the organization, and then I got another little lofty question, but time flies, and there's really it's awesome when you show up.
You know what? I just ran into a parent from parent group recently, so I'm gonna not name names and tell you a story about. He came to us when he was just lost and he was having a lot of trouble with his son. Recently been diagnosed, and they were having a lot of distress at home, and his son was not living at home because there was so much stress at home, and he dove in head first, and he talked to us almost every day, and he was coming to parent group regularly, and watching him grow and transform and really learn to understand his son and watching them repair their relationship was seriously one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And it was such a joy to run into him and see how well they're both doing, and just having a space for him to come and have that education and understanding, the space for that wasn't judgmental, and to help him understand his son. I think it just helps that family, right? And we're all about helping those individual families and helping them create bigger community so that we can all be happier together.
That's a great story.
What's nice is that when people stop coming so often, that's actually a positive thing.
Right.
This gentleman's son is working now and just starting to come out on his own and learn who he really is.
Yeah. And then we get to engage him in adult groups and all the things.
Wow.
We have groups for every age group. So anyone along the spectrum and any age along the spectrum, we have a group that can support them and find their people.
I like to say we have a spectrum of services.
There you go.
From ages up to 8, or
4 to
8, and then to whenever. We have stuff for trainings for the community. We have a call line, a referral and resource line that anyone can call and find the resources or the help or the guidance that they need. And of course, we've got family support. We've got adult support. We've got meetups for little ones and also teenagers. Playformance, a teenager meetup. Mm-hmm. So we do truly have a whole spectrum of services that cover the whole community.
You've got it all. And if you've got one thing, Eric, let me ask you this. If you got one wish for the organization, what is your wish?
I think actually to reach more people, because the truth is that the problem is less about a lack of resources and more about a lack of knowledge of existing resources. So my organization actually just gave the Autism Society a community reinvestment grant to expand our programs into ours into Spanish and making it more accessible. And that's the key. We have these programs now, but we need to get the word out because people don't always realize what is out there, what is available, what can help you have a better life and make the quality of life better.
Love it. What about you? One wish, if you had one.
Our goal is always just to make Southern Arizona the best place to be autistic. where we have a world and a community that understands compassion and just meeting people where they're at and accepting people and giving them time and space, so that that helps everyone. And if we can create a community that just embraces and loves everyone and makes our autistic community even more comfortable, that's what I want.
I think that's doable. Just be nice, everybody. Be nicer.
Exactly. It's not so
Again,
hard.
it's good for everybody. Just good advice. And it's easy to do when you make friends like you, because today we made friends with Kate Elliot, Executive Director of the Autism Society of Southern Arizona, and Eric Stark, Board Member of the Autism Society of Southern Arizona and Representative of Banner Health Plans. Autism Society of Southern Arizona, creating a world where everyone in the autism community is connected to the support they need when they need it. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing, time for a recap. What an excellent conversation that was. I love talking to the Autism Society of Southern Arizona, and you'll love talking to them as well when you go hang out with them on Saturday, April 13th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. It's going to be a great event inside, so don't even worry about that weather. It's been nice, but sometimes it rains. Ruins these events, not this one. It's going to be a big fun event, all in for Autism Day, so go join them April 13th. Mr. Nature's going to be there, my man. There's going to be class with Saguaro Music Theater. They've been on Lifestyle Tucson in the past. You could check that out. There's going to be reptiles, an instrument petting zoo, adventure arts, princesses and superheroes walking around. Lots of fun stuff. Go try out and maybe win that dance-a-thon. Beats a walk-a-thon any day of the week. All right? You can go get all the information about everything that they're doing over at www.as-az.org. Go follow them on Instagram at Autism Society _SOAZ. That's for Southern Arizona. And then they're also on Facebook at Autism Society of Southern Arizona. Go give them a like so that you never miss any events and any updates or news, because they're doing a lot of great things here in Tucson. And again, it's always good to be informed. And remember that great piece of advice? Just be nice. So I want to thank our new friends at the Autism Society of Southern Arizona for joining me today, especially Eric, because he was great and really fun to talk to. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, or wherever fine podcasts are having a dance-a-thon. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. Toot toot Tucson. I love you the most.